Hey everyone, James Powers here, and welcome back to my channel for another round of spine-chilling stories that will make you sleep with the lights on. Join me as I dive into 5 of the most disturbing haunted house horror stories ever told, and see if I can handle the chills they give me. Haunted houses have a way of captivating our imagination, drawing us in with their eerie allure. The creaking floorboards, the musty air, the feeling of being watched. It's enough to send shivers down your spine, or maybe, just maybe, it's the thought that we might not be alone in those shadows. The idea of a place where the living are not alone, where the dead still linger, is a terrifying concept that has been explored in countless horror stories. Are these stories just the product of overactive imaginations, or is there something more sinister lurking within these haunted walls? Let's find out. Our first story takes us to a quaint, sleepy town nestled in the countryside. Picture this: rolling hills, lush green lawns, and a beautiful, sprawling mansion perched atop a hill. This was supposed to be the family's dream home, a place where they could build memories that would last a lifetime. Little did they know, they were moving into a nightmare. From the moment they crossed the threshold, things felt off. The air was heavy with an unseen presence, and a palpable sense of dread seemed to seep from the very walls. At first it was just subtle things: doors creaking open on their own, the faint scent of lavender perfume in the air. Even though no one in the family wore it, they brushed it off as an old house settling. You know how it is, right? But as the days turned into weeks, the occurrences grew increasingly more disturbing. Objects would vanish without a trace, only to reappear in the most bizarre locations. Footsteps echoed from the empty hallways at night, their rhythm slow and deliberate, as if something unseen were pacing the corridors. The family dog, usually a playful and energetic companion, would cower in fear, whimpering at unseen figures in the shadows. One evening, as the family gathered for dinner, a piercing scream shattered the silence. The youngest daughter came running down the stairs, her eyes wide with terror, claiming that someone or something had tried to grab her from her room. This is where things took a truly sinister turn. The family, once skeptical, now found themselves facing the terrifying reality that they were not alone in their home. Desperate for answers, they delved into the history of the mansion, uncovering a dark and tragic past. It turned out that the previous owner, a wealthy recluse, had died under mysterious circumstances within those very walls. Some whispered that he had been driven mad by an unknown entity, while others claimed he had made a dark pact with forces beyond human comprehension. As the paranormal activity intensified, the family found themselves trapped in a terrifying game of cat and mouse with an unseen entity. Doors slammed shut with bone-jarring force, disembodied voices whispered their names from the shadows, and icy cold spots sent shivers down their spines. The once grand mansion, now a prison of fear, seemed to close in on them, suffocating them with its malevolence. Our next stop takes us to a crumbling edifice of despair, a place where hope went to die. An abandoned asylum, its windows like vacant eyes staring out at the world, stood shrouded in an almost tangible air of sorrow and madness. It was the kind of place that dared you to enter, beckoned you with the promise of a glimpse into the abyss. A group of friends, fueled by youthful bravado and a thirst for the unknown, decided to answer that call. Armed with flashlights and a healthy dose of skepticism, they stepped across the threshold, sealing their fate. The air inside was thick with the smell of decay and dust, a testament to the years of neglect and abandonment. As they ventured deeper into the asylum's bowels, the weight of its history pressed down on them. The air grew heavy with the unspoken suffering of the souls who had once resided within its walls. The friends couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched, their every move scrutinized by unseen observers. The deeper they went, the more unsettling the atmosphere became. Graffiti-covered walls whispered tales of madness and despair, while rusted medical equipment stood as grim reminders of the treatments that were once administered within those very rooms. They stumbled upon a padded cell, its door hanging open as if inviting them in. The air inside was ice-cold, and an overwhelming sense of claustrophobia and dread washed over them. As they pressed on, their flashlights flickered across shadowy figures lurking at the edge of their vision, vanishing as quickly as they appeared. Whispers seemed to emanate from the walls themselves, unintelligible murmurs that sent chills down their spines. One of the friends, a young woman named Emily, swore she felt something brush past her, a cold, ethereal touch that left her shaken to her core. Then came the screams, blood-curdling shrieks echoed through the desolate hallways, bouncing off the walls and amplifying their terror. The friends froze, their blood turning to ice in their veins. They had stumbled upon something truly sinister, something that defied rational explanation. Panic surged through the group as they realized the true extent of their predicament. They were trapped in a nightmare, hunted by something unseen and malevolent. Chapter 3. The Legend of Blood Manor. Our next tale takes us to a small town where secrets whispered through the generations like the wind through the trees. At the heart of these whispers stood Blood Manor, a name that sent chills down the spines of even the most hardened skeptics. Locals spoke of the manor in hushed tones, their eyes wide with a mixture of fear and fascination. Legend had it that a family had been brutally murdered within its walls, their spirits forever bound to the place of their demise. For years the manor stood abandoned, a decaying monument to a gruesome past. But tales of strange lights, disembodied voices and shadowy figures continued to circulate, fueling the flames of the legend. Then one fateful night, a group of self-proclaimed paranormal investigators decided to confront the darkness that resided within Blood Manor. Armed with cameras, EMF readers, and a healthy dose of morbid curiosity, they stepped across the threshold, unaware of the horrors that awaited them. The air inside was thick with the weight of tragedy, a palpable sense of sorrow and despair that clung to every inch of the decaying structure. As they ventured deeper into the manor, they began to experience a series of unsettling events. Doors slammed shut on their own, their heavy wooden frames shuddering under the force of some unseen entity. Cold spots like pockets of Arctic air sent shivers down their spines. One investigator, a seasoned ghost hunter named Mark, swore he saw a fleeting glimpse of a woman in a white gown standing at the top of the stairs, her face contorted in a silent scream. As they explored further, they discovered a hidden room, its walls stained with what appeared to be blood. A chill ran down their spines as they realized that they were standing in the very room where the family had met their gruesome end. The air grew heavy with dread, and the investigators could feel their hearts pounding in their chests. Suddenly the temperature plummeted, and the room was plunged into darkness. Panic surged through the group as they fumbled for their flashlights, their beams dancing across the walls, searching for the source of the sudden darkness. Chapter 4. The Hotel That Steals Your Breath. Our next stop takes us to a grand old hotel, its once gleaming facade now dulled with time and neglect. The Grand Blackwood Hotel, they called it, a relic of a bygone era that promised luxury and elegance, but delivered a chilling encounter with the afterlife. John, a traveling salesman with a penchant for haunted history, decided to book a night. Eager to experience the legendary hauntings firsthand, he checked in with a mixture of excitement and trepidation, unaware that he was about to check into his worst nightmare. John's room, located on the hotel's infamous 13th floor, was a study in faded grandeur. The wallpaper, once vibrant, was now peeling at the edges, revealing the ghostly outlines of patterns long gone. The air was thick with the scent of dust and mildew, and a musty chill seemed to emanate from the very walls. As he settled into the room, John couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. The first sign of trouble came that night. John was awakened by the sound of his door slowly creaking open, as if someone or something was peering in. He dismissed it as his imagination, the creaky groan of an old building settling. But as the night wore on, the disturbances grew increasingly more unsettling. The temperature in the room plummeted, leaving John shivering beneath the heavy blankets. He could have sworn he heard whispers coming from the bathroom, hushed voices that seemed to taunt him with their unseen presence. Then, as John lay in bed, trying to ignore the growing sense of unease, he felt it, a cold spot, as if someone had poured liquid nitrogen directly onto the bed spread out beside him. He could feel his heart pounding in his chest, his breath catching in his throat. He told himself it was just a draft. But deep down, he knew better. This was something else, something sinister. Driven by a mixture of fear and morbid curiosity, John decided to investigate. As he cautiously approached the bathroom door, he could have sworn he saw a fleeting glimpse of a figure standing in the mirror's reflection. A tall, shadowy figure with eyes that seemed to burn with a cold, malevolent light. Chapter 5. The hospital where death still works. Our final stop takes us to a place where hope often fades and the veil between life and death seems perilously thin, a haunted hospital. Mercy General Hospital, once a beacon of healing and hope, now stood as a chilling testament to the darkness that can linger even in the presence of medicine and science. Sarah, a young nurse new to the night shift, was about to receive a crash course in the hospital's terrifying secrets. From the moment Sarah clocked in for her shift, an unsettling feeling washed over her. The air was thick with a strange energy, a mixture of antiseptic and something far more sinister. The usual hum of medical equipment seemed amplified, each beep and whir taking on an almost ominous tone. As she made her rounds, checking on patients, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being followed, her every move scrutinized by unseen eyes. The other nurses, their faces etched with a weary acceptance, had warned her about the hospital's resident ghost. A former patient, they said, who had died under mysterious circumstances and now roamed the halls, seeking solace or perhaps revenge. They spoke in hushed tones of flickering lights, disembodied voices, and cold spots that seemed to follow them on their rounds. One night, as Sarah made her way down a deserted hallway, she felt it, a sudden drop in temperature, as if she had stepped into a freezer. The air grew heavy, and she could have sworn she heard the rasping breath of someone or something right behind her. She whirled around, her heart pounding in her chest, but the hallway was empty. As the weeks turned into months, Sarah's encounters with the supernatural grew increasingly more frequent and disturbing. She would catch fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures lurking at the edge of her vision, hear her name whispered from empty rooms. One night, as she stood over a patient's bed checking their vitals, she felt a cold, clammy hand close around her wrist. Outro. So, there you have it, folks. 5 spine-chilling tales of haunted houses that should keep you up all night. Whether you believe in ghosts or simply enjoy a good scare, there's no denying the power of these stories to tap into our deepest fears and leave us questioning what lurks in the shadows. Do you have any haunted house stories of your own? I'd love to hear them. Share your spine-chilling experiences in the comments below, and let's see if we can spook each other even more. And hey, if you're brave enough, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more spooky content from yours truly, James Powers. Until next time, sleep tight and don't let the ghosts bite.